is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's go, baby.
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break.
With Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Break. I am here with Nick and Dave, who are going to give us a little report on these injured guys, who was at practice today and who wasn't. The main guys have been at practice, and one of the biggest returns would be Connor Williams, who has been spotted out there doing some things after a knee scope last week. Thoughts on this? That's pretty impressive.
Legitimately shocking. Yeah, I was not expecting to see that, but he's out there running with the first team. It's been 8 days since he had surgery on his knee.
So was he doing, like, rotating with Xavier or just took over?
And as we always say, I mean, we saw 15 minutes. They don't really get into the nitty-gritty of playing football while we're out there. It's mostly position drills and, warm-up reps. So I don't know what it's going to look like when they actually go through their game plan for today, but he had a scope on his knee 8 days ago. That's great. I mean, even Michael Gallup needed like 3 weeks. I think Gallup missed 2 games.
Gallup obviously is running routes, and
true.
That's what you do the entire game. You can't really have a big, bulky knee brace there. You could do that probably with Connor Williams if you wanted to. That's also assuming he's head and shoulders above the guy behind him. But I think they believe that he is. The Cowboys believe that Connor Williams is definitely a better player than Xavier Su'a-Filo. So
yeah, I think you're right.
What'd you see from last game when they were playing against the Lions? Did you notice? I heard you say you were going to watch that position. Did you notice a significance there?
I didn't notice any big problems with him in the passing game. I thought he did actually a good job there. They didn't run the ball well, and so it wasn't just on him, but he didn't provide as much of that strength and push as you would have wanted. Collectively, they didn't run it well, but they also made sure that the Cowboys weren't going to run on them. That was something that the Lions did, so I'm not sure if Nate Newton and Larry Allen, well, Larry probably would have pushed people around, but I'm just not sure if anybody was going to be able to run the ball the way the Lions were playing. So when that happens, you have to throw for 444. That's what you have to do, and you have to be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week if you're the quarterback and you're not going to take away your running game like that.
I'm curious, like we just said, what this means. I mean, Connor's out there. That doesn't mean that he's going to play against the Patriots. We'll see. It's a good sign.
Another guy, though, that is important for the line and wasn't out there today, Lyle Collins.
He's dealing with, he got hurt. I mean, yeah. That's the thing is, like, Lyle told me after the game, he's like, yeah, my back flared up. It's, it's the thing I was dealing with leading into the game. But then they're saying it's his knee, and that was something that was already aggravating him, too. Like, these guys are just beat to hell, man.
We were told on the plane that he had re-aggravated the MCL sprain. They're going to watch it this week, but you just got the sense from the trainers and from Jason Garrett that it was a positive thing. It's going to be okay. Just from a sense of he'll probably be able to play.
I think that they think he can play
now,
but I also think he probably won't show up on the field until Friday.
Here's what's not good is that you're facing the best team in the league, the best team over the last 20 years, and they are a very physical team. And so they're going to do everything they can to play this game. And I'm not trying to look ahead of the best team of all time, but you got a game in 4 days after that.
Yep.
It's you might take everything you have to get through this game, and even that might not be enough for a win.
Tough.
And then you got to turn around and play a really physical Buffalo team in 4 days.
It's a really good point.
It's a tough stretch right there for those.
We've seen that. I mean, I think they've had good luck on Thanksgiving the last few years, but I remember in 2014, who'd they
Philly.
Yeah, and they sold out to win the game before Philly, and the Eagles came in on Thanksgiving and beat them up because they were
Yeah.
It was a short week.
And that was the year Romo was balancing.
I'm sorry. It's kind of he was managing his back, but it's a little bit comparable because they went up to New York. That was the Odell game, the Dez game. Riding high, you get this impressive win against the Giants, and then they were hurt and flat and got beat pretty bad by the Eagles in that game. So that is, of course, you're not going to look past playing the New England Patriots in Gillette Stadium, but it's going to be tough to turn around and play a good Bills team after that.
It's going to be tough for those guys that are like the Lyle Collins of the world, and maybe that's not what they do. Maybe they look at it and say, we're not doing that. We're gonna actually, if they're not 100% healthy, let's see if they can get healthy for next Thursday. You'd hate to say that when you're playing the Patriots, but it might be the smart thing to do.
And so to finish off the injury stuff, Amari Cooper, Tank Lawrence, Jeff Heath, they were all out there. That's great. Amari, actually, this is the first time he's practiced on a Wednesday in a few weeks, so that's positive. But again, how's he going to feel on Monday morning? And you don't have the benefit of having 7 days to get ready. You got to get ready in 3. So that'll be a challenge for everybody. And
sit these guys and let them play against the Bills.
No.
You can't, which I like that line of thinking typically, and load management has taken over the NBA, and we talked about it.
Okay, let's think about this.
I was about to say you can't do that in this situation against a team this good. Sorry.
If you feel that you're going to lose, that's not the mentality you need to have.
Right,
That's
you're
not
conceding basically.
But it's against the Patriots when you're okay.
But you can't concede, and if you sit guys, guys will know. Guys will know if you're starting to sit guys that are kind of injured, but they could play. They're going to know basically you're conceding this game. You can't do that. I just don't think you can do it.
I'm not saying you're conceding this game, but let's also
strategizing.
No, but let's think about it like this. Okay, tomorrow you go to these guys that have been battling with things all year. I'm talking about the Zach Martins and Tyron Smiths and all that. Can you play? I'm talking about on Thursday. You say, can you play? No, not today, but I'll be all right by Sunday. That's what you're dealing with next week. So all I'm saying is for a guy like that, and particularly Lyle Collins, who was dealing with something last week, it may not be in the best interest to do that because you play this game, he may not be at 100%, and then you're not going to get him at all for Thursday.
That sounds good. I get your logic.
Good.
My point, though, still remains that how does that play in the locker room? I think in the locker room it'll feel like, well, he could play. Like, we know he could play. They're saving him for next week. So what does that say about this week? Are they conceding that we just can't beat them?
I think that, first of all, if you can play...
Never say that.
If you can play, then play.
Yeah, but right. I'm going to argue semantics with you. You're not conceding defeat. You're saying we run the risk of, not having this guy for a longer stretch of time, or do we just sit him for one and then hopefully that helps him be right for the final 5?
That's nice. That's not
conceding defeat.
I'm not saying they are conceding defeat. What I'm saying is you have to think about the optics and you have to think about how that plays in a locker room with 53 men. That's a part of this. Don't act like it's not. It is a part of this. And if they're looking at it and the players in there for 1 minute start to think this guy can play, but they're going to sit him this week because they figure it's better just to have him for next week, then they certainly start having those conversations. You guys have been around groups of people. Anytime you have groups of people, you always have to be concerned about one guy planting a seed. All it takes is one guy to think that, and he says it to the guy sitting beside him, and then all of a sudden it becomes I think he could play. Why are they not playing? They think we can't win this way? There's a lot of stuff that can happen from that. I just don't think it's good for the team dynamic to ever sit a guy that can play in this culture. Like in football, it's about if you can play. And we say it all the time how crazy these guys are for getting out there with some of the injuries they have. But if you can play in a football culture and you decide not to, or the team decides not to play you, I think there are always going to be questions.
I hate that we're in the weeds on this right now. It's irrelevant. If he can play, he'll play.
I agree.
It's all about, do you want a guy to play 2 games or 1? That's really what it comes down to. There's always
it really is 1-on-1-to-1, right? Because they just wouldn't play this week and they play next week, right? Or if they play this week, then you're saying they might not be ready for next week, but they're ready for the Bears game, right?
Yeah.
So it's 1-to-1. Either you want to play this week or you want to play him next week.
Unless you hurt the guy even worse and it keeps him out even a longer amount of time. So you just never know.
Which is every game.
I'm only 5'5". The weeds are so tall above me that I can't see anything.
They're so tall, I can't see anything.
We're so deep in the weeds right now.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, I thought you were taking over already.
I'm not. You're taking over. You got this thing.
All right. Well, I wanted to talk about real quick. I don't know if you guys talked about the cornerback position and Anthony Brown being out and who's going to kind of take over his role and what's going to happen there. Are there any updates on that?
They poached a guy by the name of Deontay Burton off the Colts practice squad. He's a journeyman practice squad type of guy. He's been in the league for 3 years. I think he's been in 3 games, something like just practice squad kind of guy. I think their hope is that he doesn't have to be active for this game. It's more of you need the 5th cornerback. You need that guy, but, it's not like a sign him on Wednesday, throw him into the game against Tom Brady on Sunday type of deal, hopefully.
Yep. But remember, when you sign a guy off a practice squad, he'll be here 3 weeks. So you have to be here at least for 3 games.
Right.
So, yeah, I think a lot of times, though, when they do sign guys, there's a lot of cornerbacks on practice squads, and the Cowboys have 2 of them. That right there is kind of weird to me. Like, what does it say for the guys that know your system and here that are playing that aren't good enough to be called up? Like, when is it ever going to be good time for Donovan Olumba? I guess not this week.
Maybe if he could run a little bit faster.
But then the question is, why do you have him here? Like, why is he on the practice squad?
You need
bodies.
You have to be able to get through practice.
I get that. My point is it a situation where is he never going to really be?
Yeah, he'll be here for this year and all that because he knows it and that's what they're doing and all that. He understands the terminology, but there's no sense in probably bringing him back for next year for another go-round on this unless he's just kind of banged up or something.
But, I mean,
if I were him, I certainly would be like, what the heck?
Well, I'd be.
What am I doing here if I'm out here practicing every day and I know what I'm doing?
Helping them get through practice. Like, the cruel reality of the situation is that's the idea is you want to develop these guys, but they're not all going to be good enough to call up to the 53.
But this guy that's played 3 games in 3 years is like that's again. I'm just saying. Yeah. I just think this. He if he's better than them, then they got to really be questioning like what that they don't see value in me.
They are. They
right,
are.
Right.
Donovan Olumba right now is like
he's scratching his head. Like I don't know what's going on here.
If you're not good enough to be secure, the NFL is a sucky job. I mean, it is what it is. Like they could cut you right now. Like you're making good money. I think somebody wrote a story about this last year, and like I'm not trying to make anybody feel terrible for these guys that make 6 figures, but practice squad guys, like you make like $120,000 before taxes. You can't really like buy a lease or lease an apartment or anything because you don't know how. I mean, they could cut you at a moment's notice, and then you're stuck with a lease on a place you can't pay for.
There's no residual money that comes after that. When they cut you, they cut you, right?
And they'll bounce you back and forth. So like 1 week you've got active roster money, 1 week you don't. And so yeah, like if you're in that situation, it sucks, and I'm sure it probably sucks for Olumba. And who's the other cornerback? I can't even think of his name.
CJ.
Oh, the guy they got from Georgia Tech. Or DJ Reed.
DJ Jones. I don't know.
You're like, well, yeah. I mean, think about that. Like,
he's throwing out names.
If they liked them enough, they could bring them up for this game. And like a 53-man roster game check is like $80,000. Like you're basically getting half of your practice squad paycheck for 1 week's worth of work. And they're like, no, we think this guy might have more juice. Sorry about it.
Maybe they're saving him for the future.
If you can help us,
next year they need guys at corner.
If you can help us get through practice, though, that would be great. But if you suck, we'll cut you, and then you got to figure it out. I mean,
it's tough business.
It pays well, but if you're not good enough to have a guaranteed spot, it can be kind of tough.
Anyway. All right, well, let's take an early break. When we come back, Dave is going to have his scouting report, and then Nick, I know he has some storylines dealing about the Patriots when we come back.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Whether you're into being a part of this or more into something like this, SeatGeek has the tickets to the events you love. It's the easiest way to find, buy, and sell tickets. Plus, with their deal score technology, they'll recommend the best seats in the house at the best value. So the next time you're craving this, download the SeatGeek app and let's go. SeatGeek.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys? Jack Black. Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheer.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Back to the break.
Welcome back. Nick, take it away. Go for it.
I'm not ready yet for my...
Seriously, you had a whole break to beat and get ready.
Here we go.
Is this what happens when I'm not here?
No.
This happens when you are here.
Here are the storylines that the Patriots are kind of going through right now. Obviously, their offense is not what they're used to seeing here, and Brady was very frustrated the other day. It sounded like he was about to jump off a cliff. I think he's been calmed down and realized they're 9-1, but they holds himself to a higher standard, and so the offense is not something that is on par right now for what the Patriots are used to. One of the reasons is their red zone scoring. They've only scored a touchdown 48% of the time inside the 20. They rank 25th in the league. They're hoping that their first-round pick, N'Keal Harry, who's a big-bodied guy, he's been on injured reserve until last week. He came back, made his debut. They think he might be an option there. He's at wide receiver.
Why am I thinking? Didn't they get a tackle?
They get a tackle back. That's my third point. Isaiah Wynn is coming back off of IR. He's another first-round pick from 2018. Hasn't played a lot. They expect he's going to be active. He may just jump right in and play there at left tackle. They're going to see about that. Another point is that their defense could be – we could be talking about the 2019 Patriots like we say some of the other 2000 Ravens, maybe the 85 Bears. I mean, they've been that good. They're first in total yards allowed and points scored and all that. They've got 6 total touchdowns on defense and special teams. They've only given up 9 on offense, but they're scoring.
That reminds me of that
6.
Bucks defense from the early 2000s that was scoring a ton. They were really good, but they were scoring a ton as well.
Last point for them is they've won 17 straight games at home dating back to October 2017. Cowboys have not won there since 87. Don't play a whole lot, but they certainly have never won in this stadium, Gillette Stadium. Not many teams do, though. It's kind of what's going on with the Patriots there, but
I need to look that up. I'm going to for my column tomorrow. Just like who has beaten the Pats at Gillette?
They lost 2 that year in 2017. Lost the opener to the Chiefs, and then the Panthers came in there and beat them.
I know. They
stopped
do.
Looking after that,
I know they have, but I bet it's not a super long list.
Small list, yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's another thing.
Let's just sit everybody.
Although I will say. I'm the pessimist. I get that. I already said I'm going to pick the Patriots, but like I dove into the offense and kind of to Nick's point, I was like, okay, like you could beat these guys. Maybe the offense. I haven't watched the defense yet, and that's kind of the bread and butter. That's the bread and butter.
Watch the defense. Can you watch against a good team?
Yeah.
Don't show me some Miami crap.
No, I always
Jets.
It's tricky because I always try to watch the most recent game, but I feel like if the most recent game isn't super indicative of who they are, I try to go back. So yeah, like I'm not going to watch them play the Dolphins. I think that's a waste of time.
Ravens.
I'm going to watch them play the Ravens to see what it looks like when somebody kicks their ass because nobody does that.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch him play the Eagles just because that was the most recent opponent. Anyway.
And they played them tough. The Eagles played them tough.
I watched the Eagles game on offense, and then I watched the first half of the Ravens game, and then I went back and watched some of the stuff they did before that. They're pretty mediocre and even bad by their standards. They're 16th in the league in total offense. So here's the thing, like we all know they reinvent themselves, yada, 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 big cliche. They've got 19 running backs. They've been like a sneaky, powerful running team for the last few years. Like they're not even good at that this year because their offensive line has been so banged up. Isaiah Wynn left in week 2. Another one of their starters whose name I don't think I wrote down it has been out. They also lost their fullback, James Devlin. He's been on injured reserve. They only average 3 yards per carry. They've got 900 yards on the year. So, like, you know, even with Sony Michel and, like, that whole storyline, they don't run the ball very well. They're 24th in the league. Having said that, they're 3rd in the league in scoring, which is kind of funny. They scored 42 points off of defense and special teams. And that's not even including when defense and special teams gives them short fields. I just mean 6 touchdowns on the year from defense and special teams. Their average drops a whole 4 points to 24 per game when you take that away. And I know you can't, because that's part of it, right? Mm-hmm. You got to protect the ball and all that. But, like, their offense, I think it's misleading. Like, you would think, like, oh, Brady's averaging 30 points a game, really good. No, the offense is getting a lot of help.
Have they had a game yet this year where they didn't win the turnover battle? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm sorry. You like every week you like ask. I'm like,
sorry.
I got 5 pages of notes. I'm killing it. I feel good. And Derek's like, explain to me their splits over the last month. I'm like, damn it.
Sorry.
Okay. This is a very horizontal team, in my opinion. They don't like that. For my money, they lack like real downfield threats. AB was there at the beginning. He's gone. Josh Gordon was there for a while. He's gone. Julian Edelman can go downfield, but he's a slot guy. He plays at all 3 levels, but you don't think of him as a vertical threat. Philip Dorsett has speed, but there hasn't been a ton of consistency there. I looked this up. His longest gain of the year is 58. He did that in week 1.
Wow.
There's not a huge element of downfield ability. They got Mohamed Sanu in a trade right around the deadline. He hasn't done a lot yet. He has in his career. And then Nikhil.
But he's a move the chains kind of guy too, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got speed. Again, I mean, he did wonders with Julio, but obviously Julio's a big part of that equation. Yeah. Nikhil Harry's coming back off IR. He's a big-bodied, more of a possession guy, 6'3", 230, not like a big-bodied guy. Be interesting to see what he does. He caught 3 balls for 18 last week against the Eagles, so kind of getting his feet wet. When I say they're horizontal, I mean you see a lot of screens from the receivers and the running backs to offset the fact that they don't have that stuff. Like James White is probably their most reliable weapon right now. I crunched the numbers on this. Running backs have caught 85 balls so far this year. White is catching 60% of those. He's got 50 catches already this year. That's the funny thing is like, and I wrote this down too. So they're in 11 personnel 54% of the time, and then 30% of the time they're running a 2-back set. So you're like, oh, they got White and Michelle on the field. They got Burkhead and White. They got Burkhead and Michelle. They can do all this different stuff with all these running backs, but they seem a lot more predictable than that because Sony Michel has 150 carries on the year. The next best guy has 40. And then James White has 48 of their 85 catches. The next best guy has like 18. Like Michel is their running back, and then they have a committee of pass catchers. And I was kind of surprised that like it wasn't more evenly split. You know, like when Michel's on the field, they're probably going to. I mean, if he's going to get the ball, it's probably going to be on a run, and the other guys catch. White is super dangerous. You remember him from the Super Bowl. He's got the longest gain of the season for them. Let's talk about Tom Brady. He looks not like the GOAT. And for a variety of reasons. My main thing, if you've watched the Cowboys play Eli Manning in the downturn of his career, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like,
really?
He's smarter than Eli Manning. Like, he makes better decisions. He can still get the ball out. He still has really good accuracy. But my main point is, like, if you pressure him, he kind of falls apart. I mean, like, I hate to use the word afraid for a pro football player, but, like, he doesn't want to take contact. And so, like, the minute there's pressure, he's looking for a way to get rid of it or get down and get out of the way.
That's kind of been the MO in him his whole career.
It has.
You can get to him. The problem is you haven't been able to always get to him.
You're right. I mean, you're right. And, like, you can go back to 2007, and, like, that's how the Giants beat him. Yeah. I get that. But, like, it looks even more obvious because I think – and he's never been mobile, but at 42, like, there's just not a lot he can do with a 25-year-old defender putting pressure on him.
So are they putting him in situations where he's making bad decisions because of that, or is it just
no? That's the thing.
He's
is like
getting sacked a lot.
No, well, he's taken 16 sacks, which isn't a ton.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying is like he's got so many incompletions. He threw 14 first half incompletions against the Eagles the other night, and that's just because like if it's not there immediately and he's worried about something bad happening, he's just throwing it at somebody's feet or throwing it out of bounds.
I don't think they have any real playmakers.
They don't
on this team, and I mean
Edelman
is, but I'm just saying he's not a guy that's just gonna throw it 50 yards down the field, go up and make a play like Galladay did against them.
Are you saying there's nobody that really scares opposing defenses that you have to have added?
That's why he's saying they're not very vertical.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that offsets a huge blitz. I mean, the Cowboys would be crazy not to get after him. And just, I'm anxious to see what they do with Edelman. They have a cornerback right now that nobody's really trying to touch at all. And maybe it's going to be a situation where Byron Jones needs to be with Edelman a little bit.
You think that'll happen, though?
Well, yeah.
Have they done that before? Put him in the slot a lot? Like when you face a team where their best guy is the slot guy, follow him into the slot a lot?
I mean, here's a guy that played safety, right? I mean, he should be able to sort of do it. I'm not saying he's great at slot, Byron Jones. I'm just saying that,
I really want to. I want to see. I
know where you're going. I
want Jordan Lewis on Edelman. Not so much because I think like maybe Edelman will win some. Edelman will definitely win some. He's a great player, but like the yapping and the extracurricular just sounds way too entertaining not to.
And I want to just see for myself. I want to see if you put Jordan in a situation where he's about to have to play a good part in a game, and can he take that step? Because that's going to tell. I think it should tell you a lot about what the Cowboys should be thinking about him going forward.
And this guy, you said you didn't think the corner would play. Burton, DeAndre Burton?
I don't think so, no.
Who else would be a corner, though?
I think your fourth corner would be C.J. Goodwin, which, I mean, it's not exciting. But
well, they've been keeping them all active. I mean, Brown was active. So I think when they sign a guy, I think they sign him for a guy that's the most ready. I didn't finish that point. I think that's what the determining factor is who can play right now, who can play today. And so I would imagine he is going to play just because they've been keeping all five corners active.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's talk. I want to talk a little bit more about that, but let's take a final break.
Yeah,
and
I got
when
more
we come
to say.
back, we'll finish up this Patriots offense.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheer.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score September 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again for Tailgating with the OtterBox Boys.
OtterBox, the company that builds wildly overprotective phone cases?
The one and only. But cases are just the start. OtterBox is the official outfitter of tailgating.
If they can keep my phone safe, what can they do for my parking lot party?
How about protecting your beverages from suboptimal drinking temperatures with their elevation tumblers? And OtterBox elevation tumblers come in 3 sizes, a 10-ouncer, a 20-ouncer, and even a 64-ounce growler.
Check out all the colors and sizes of their elevation tumblers at otterbox.com.
Whether you're into being a part of this or more into something like this, SeatGeek has the tickets to the events you love. It's the easiest way to find, buy, and sell tickets. Plus, with their deal score technology, they'll recommend the best seats in the house at the best value. So the next time you're craving this,
Ready? Blue 20.
download the SeatGeek app and let's go. SeatGeek.
Hey Cowboys Nation, this season when the Cowboys win, you get to experience the sweet taste of victory because if the Cowboys win, the next day Dunkin' is offering a free medium hot or iced coffee. So don't just celebrate the Cowboys' success from the sidelines, head to Dunkin' and treat yourself to real victory because this season Cowboys fans aren't only winning on game day, they're winning the next day too with a free medium coffee. Cowboys Nation runs on Dunkin'. Excludes cold brew. Limit 1 per guest. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Back to the break.
Hey, this weekend, Cowboys have a watch party. I know you've been hearing a lot about it because it's going to be a cool place to be. Probably cool, maybe not too cold, and weather will be fine. Sunday, November 24th on the Tostitos Championship Plaza at the Star. Watch the Cowboys take on the Patriots with all your Cowboys fans. It'll be fun out there. Admission and parking are free. Visit thestarinfrisco.com for more details.
All right. Well, I wanted to go back and talk about Jordan Lewis a little more. I know when I was watching the Patriots playing, a lot of the things that I saw Tom Brady doing was, what do you call those passes where you kind of toss it? You know, you're not really throwing it. It's just kind of like a
shovel passes.
Yeah, like a shovel. Yeah.
Pop pass is what they've been calling it too.
Pop passes too.
I noticed him doing that a lot. I'm like, oh, that could be a perfect opportunity for the Cowboys to create some takeaways. And who better than Jordan Lewis, who has been seen getting his hands around the ball pretty often. So when you mentioned that about, well, you did kind of putting Jordan Lewis there. I love that whole idea of possibly utilizing him that way and starting to see the Cowboys create some more turnovers this way.
I mean, it's remarkable. Their running backs are the way that they try to move the ball more than anything. And like I said, I mean, it's really Michelle doing the majority of the work, actually running it. But Burkhead, Bolden, James White, they can all line up. I mean, they flex them out. They motion them back. Lots of screens. Brady throws like 3 swing passes to James White per game. And we know the Cowboys aren't good at that. So I would assume that's going to be
see a healthy dose of that.
A big point of emphasis. And I mean, misdirection, kind of trickling the running back over behind the line and giving him room to run. They do that all the time. I don't mean to discount the things Edelman and even Philip Dorsett can do down the field. I think Edelman's a lot like Randall Cobb. Like, he's got that reputation of being the shifty, 15 yards and shorter guy, but like, he can go downfield and hurt you there too. Like, he's dangerous at all 3 levels. But there's not a guy, and this is always famous last words, but there's not a guy where I'm just like, oh, I don't know what they're going to do with him. Yeah. Like, they have the personnel to defend these guys if they play well, and that's the thing that gives you pause is they haven't. And with a guy like Belichick and Josh McDaniels drawing it up, you would think they can I think they're going to try to take advantage of how aggressive the Cowboys are. But that's the thing I wonder about. The Ravens blitzed the hell out of Brady, and it worked. Earl Thomas sacked him, linebacker sacks, and I actually kind of like what I just joked about with Byron Jones. Like, do you really think he'll travel? But Stephen Jones went on the radio yesterday, and he said they were talking about, how can the defense play better? And this is buried in a wall of text, but he said, as we move forward, we may do a little more here and there in terms of getting some pressure and making plays on the ball. Do a little bit more. Do a little bit more than which I'm
blitzing.
Like, I mean, that's my immediate thought.
You have to get after him, and you have to hope the linebackers, because the one thing that you do when the team is blitzing you is you get ready for the screen. It's the linebackers have got to be able to make those plays. And while they didn't do a good job on Dalvin Cook, there's not that type of back out there. Look at the backs that have kind of hurt him here lately. The Scarborough a little bit, Dalvin Cook. It's the big, strong backs. So, not to say
a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah, a lot of missed tackles. Not to say that those shifty. I mean, they're good for a reason. I mean, Burkhead and like I almost said Deion Lewis, but James White. I mean, they just kind of rotate them in and shifty. Sonny Michel. But I think those guys have to go and get them on the ground because I do believe they're going to be sending a lot of people at Brady.
The one thing we have seen with these linebackers, though, is they do sometimes overrun plays. So that's where you're worried about the shifty guy being able to get them. But you're right. They've been there. They just haven't made the tackles. If they can wrap up, I think they can manage this. They got to make tackles.
Sonny Michel's a little more powerful than I think a lot of people want to give him credit for. Yeah. Like, he's not dainty.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
He's a big dude.
I agree with you in theory, and that's, I don't know. I would blitz. I'm trying to get at Brady because, like I said, I mean, if he even senses the play is going south, he's going to get rid of it. And he's smart enough that he can throw it away from the pocket and make it look like an incompletion. He does that all the time. He'll just chuck it at a guy's feet knowing full well that it's not going to be a completion. Right. Whether that's Jeff Heath, I would assume Jalen Smith's going to be part of it. Again, Jordan Lewis, he's shown an ability to do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring pressure on Tom Brady, and I don't know if I want to sit back and count on just the down linemen to do it because they've had games where they've been able to, but And Jeff Driscoll obviously is so much more athletic than Tom Brady, but they didn't get at him as much as I think we thought they would. Right. And so I'm trying my best to make him uncomfortable because I think their offense really struggles when he is.
That was going to be my next question, just kind of looking at how the Cowboys defensive line played last week against the Lions. And, we did expect them to be able to pressure Driscoll a lot more. And now when you mention about the Patriots offensive line, them being banged up, and are you guys really expecting the Cowboys to kind of come back to that fiery defensive line that we keep hoping to see from last year and even instances this year?
I do. I think they're going to win this game, and I think the defense is going to. I think they're going to get after.
Are you
the
still
Patriots.
picking them to win?
Oh yeah, I'm probably double-digit win. I'm not joking. Jeez. I think they're going to win by maybe 11 points, like 28-17, something like that. Yeah, I do. I'm listening to Dave.
It's not proper to drink on the job, right?
I know. I know.
The funny thing is, having
somebody's got to hang out with him now, right? Sorry, that's funny. It's really funny.
Stop.
I haven't watched their defense yet. I mean, I know they're putting up historic numbers, but just having watched their offense, I'm like, if the Cowboys can score 20 points, I think they've got a good chance to win this game. I can't see the Patriots just absolutely lighting them up unless the defense is just forcing. If Dak throws 3 picks against these guys, then
if they don't turn the ball
changes.
over a lot, if they maybe one, but if they don't turn the ball over a lot, I think the Cowboys will win. I do. I think they're the better team.
I think they're
I think
so
they're the better team. I'm sorry.
What you know about this coach, though, you have to. That's weird. What you know about
Nick
this coach?
is implying stuff left and right. It's like bullets flying around here right now.
What you know about this coach is he has a way of masking his deficiencies and exploiting yours, right?
That's true.
And so if he knows.
What about Belichick?
If we know, wait, you're killing it today. If he knows, well, first of all, if we're talking about the fact that this quarterback is not he's not getting the protection he needs, he's not being able to really be able to throw it like that, then he's going to do something to help. And so I don't think, going back to that original question of, do you think the front can get pressure without blitzing? I don't think so. I think this week they're going to go into this game saying, okay, let's max protect a little bit. Let's scheme open a guy. If we max protect, and this is a team that loves to do those little, they call them rubs, but we know they're picks, right?
Picks.
They do it all the time. That's a part of their offense.
Yep.
They're going to say, let's max protect. Let's put 2 guys out there. We're going to run they'll run a route combination that gets one of them free, and here we're off and running. That's the kind of stuff you got to worry about, because this coach, again, he looks at ways to mask his deficiencies and take advantage of yours, and he changes the game plan every single week, really every single possession, to be able to adapt to what you're doing. This is not going to be as simple as just, hey, Cowboys can put their front 4 out there and they're ferocious enough and they're better enough. They may be. Mm-hmm. They're that much better to where they're going to be able to take advantage of it. I don't think that will be the case.
The other thing, too, is, and Isaiah Wynn's only played 2 games in his NFL career, so I hesitate to, I don't know if he's all world, but he was good enough to be a first-round pick. We were dying for the Cowboys to draft him to be the left guard the year they drafted Connor. He went way too high, but he's a really good player. And the Cowboys have gotten so many lucky breaks. Well, he's back. That's an unlucky break, which, is he Tyron Smith? Probably not, but having your starting left tackle in there, you'd think will help with the pressure. And I would blitz Brady because I don't trust the front 4 to get home consistently enough on their own. But yeah, they've been pretty meh. I think we watched the Eagles game on the flight home from Detroit. 17-10, all you need is a good enough drive to get down and get a field goal, and you can put it away. I think they punted on their last 8 possessions of the game. Brady was furious after the game because he played like crap.
Yeah.
So it is possible to make them look very pedestrian.
And that's a defense the Cowboys put 37 points on. The Eagles defense. I'm sure the Eagles played way better in that game. Everybody seemingly plays better at home. But I'm just saying, that was a defense that the Cowboys were able to kind of move the ball on. So it'll be interesting to see. I just, the more I'm listening to this, I can envision the Cowboys winning this game. I really do. I think I think we're going to look up in the third quarter and it's going to be 10-3 Dallas, or I think the defense can play really well in this game. Really well.
I just think they're playing complementary football. And so Brady even said a few weeks ago, he said, hey, what I have to realize is right now the strength of this team is on defense and special teams. We just basically don't need to mess it up. And I think that's probably why he's like, okay, I'm just going to get rid of the ball. If things look like they can go south, get rid of the ball because my defense is good enough. Not only can they stop the opposing offense, they might be able to take the ball away, and they might be able to score. So they're just playing complementary football. I would suspect if their defense wasn't this good, you'd probably see that offense doing a lot more things. But right now, they're playing complementary football, and their defense is playing that level. The big key to this game, in my opinion, is not how the Cowboys' defense matches up with the Patriots' offense. It is more so, can the Cowboys' offense continue to be a juggernaut that it's been throughout most of the season against a really, 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 as you said, possibly great defense? That's the challenge here.
Absolutely. How's their kicker?
That's a really
he any good?
Well, they had one of the best in the league, but
Nick Folk?
It's Nick Folk.
Stephen Gostkowski is on IR,
and then he missed last week.
No, I picked him up today.
Oh,
you
saw he missed last week.
There's some reasons for that, though.
Oh,
Nick Folk is 5 of 5 since he joined the team, but
I thought he missed last week.
Not according to the stats. Unless Nugent is there too. Are we sure that Folk is?
I'll have to go back and look at that.
I'll be honest, I
thought I saw a highlight from last week where he missed a kick, but maybe I missed it.
Folk
I thought I saw him walking off the field, and they were like, "Yeah, Nick Folk missed," but
they have not. Folk's long is only 39. So, and that's here's a funny stat. The Patriots have not even attempted a kick from 50 plus, and they've only attempted 3 from 40 to 49. Like they're doing all of their kicking from the 20 to the 39.
They don't stall around the 35-yard line.
No, they stall. They stall. No, they don't even stall in the red zone. They stall in pretty normal kicking range. But with Gostkowski out of the lineup, they clearly don't trust these guys to be booming big
Folk
kicks.
may not be their guy. It may be Nugent.
I'm not sure. I feel like I'm a bad reporter because I focus so much on the offense.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, the Cowboys just need to kind of clean it up, and
it's going to be Nick Folk on Sunday. And he has not missed this season.
I must have missed.
Derek tried to throw me under the bus.
No, I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus.
I'm kidding.
I was just checking.
And hopefully the Cowboys' run defense gets some more confidence, I should say, because you said them not being so good in the red zone. Maybe this is a good matchup there with the Cowboys' red zone defense, kind of getting back on track.
I don't think the Patriots can just line up and run them over the way that Dalvin Cook did, or even Bo Scarborough at times. But I do.
Famous last words.
It always is.
Right,
it always is. But on the season, even with as many bad teams as they've played, they're averaging 3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
But it's the screens and the flare routes and the swing. I'm so tired of seeing James White, the perfect little wheel, wheel up the field, like Brady just puts it right in his breadbasket as he's crossing the line of scrimmage. It looks like arena football.
And he's off to the races.
And he always gets at least 8, if not 16 or more.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all the time we got for today. I appreciate Nick's optimism. The defense is going to clean up on their tackles. They're going to pressure Tom Brady. They're going to create some turnovers. They're going to keep them out of the end zone. And they're going to walk out with the win this weekend. So that's impressive.
If they get the win, they're not going to walk out of there. They're going to all be doing the Dak dance out of Gillette Stadium all the way to the bus.
Everybody.
If they win this game, I'll do that dance on the show with Rob on the field.
Quote.
And I'll have Rob do it too.
How about this, though?
Rob will hurt his
Let's say
Rob is not doing that.
They both get to the Super Bowl. Can they beat them twice?
Oh my God!
There are 20 steps you took there, not just,
I'm just
2.
saying. I don't like the probabilities.
I worry that I'm the homer, not on this particular week.
She just took the pole, started running with it, just pole vaulted all across the top.
I look at probabilities. I'm like, can you beat somebody twice like this? I don't know.
Let's not worry about that for right now.
I know.
There's some other things we can worry about.
All right,
I'll tell you this: if they played the Jets again, though, they would beat them again.
There you go.
I promise you that.
There you go. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. For Derek Eagleton, Nick Eman, David Hellman, and Member Garcia. This has been The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
Radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?